Emma stood frozen, diamond dripping from her neck, her face white as the foam on the black water below. Victor, the man she had betrayed her husband for, stumbled backward, his empire crumbling in real time on the massive screen behind them. And there at the center of it all stood Alex. Not the broken poor man they had mocked, not the husband who had eaten ramen while his wife wore $1,000 shoes, but a billionaire, the owner of everything they have ever wanted. You built your fortune on your family's grave, Alex said, his voice cutting through the shocked silence. Today I bury yours.
But this wasn't the worst part, because what Emma didn't know yet, what would destroy her completely was playing on that screen right now. Her own words, her own voice, her own betrayal again. You're not ready for this story, trust me. But before we dive in, hit that like button because this tale of revenge is about to get wide, and subscribe because you will want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
But let me ask you something. Have you ever been so angry that you stayed calm? So hot that you smiled? So betrayed that you planned? That's where our story begins. Not on that yacht, but 6 months earlier, in a tiny apartment in Chicago, where a man's entire world fell apart in one night.
Alex Carter sat in his car outside his own apartment building. Rain hammered the windshield. His hands gripped the steering wheel, so tight his knuckles had gone white. Inside his pocket, his phone buzzed. Another text from Emma, working late again. Don't wait up. He'd believed that lie for 3 months, maybe longer. He wanted to believe it because the truth was too ugly, too painful, too real. But tonight he knew, through the rain-streaked window, he could see their bedroom light on. 3rd floor, corner unit. The apartment they'd struggled to afford. The place where they'd promised forever. And parked right in front, a black Mercedes. Victor Kane's car. Alex closed his eyes. Victor Kane, his wife's boss. The tech mogul who'd visited their home twice. Once for a team dinner. Once to drop off documents. Both times, Victor had looked at their modest furniture, their peeling paint, their secondhand everything, and smiled. That small, cruel smile rich people give when they're pretending not to judge you. Your husband's an engineer? Victor had asked Emma, like the word tasted funny in his mouth. He fixes things. Emma had said, not he designs systems, or he solves problems. Just fixes things. Like he was a janitor. Alex's phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Carter? A woman's voice. Professional. Cold. Speaking. This is Margaret Chun from the law firm of Harrison, Webb, and Associates. We've been trying to reach you regarding your mother's estate. Alex's heart stopped. His mother, Sarah Carter, the woman who disappeared when he was 12. The woman everyone said had abandoned him. The woman his drunk father claimed ran off with nothing and died with less. My mother's been dead for 20 years, Alex said. Actually, Mr. Carter, she passed away 3 weeks ago, and she left you everything. The lawyer's office smelled like old books and expensive wood. Margaret Chin was tiny, sharp-eyed, wearing a suit that probably cost more than Alex made in a month. She slid a folder across the desk. Your mother, Sarah Carter, though she went by Sarah Mitchell in her later years, was an extraordinarily wealthy woman. Alex stared at the number on the first page. $3.7 billion. That's not real. It's very real. Tech patents, oil investments, real estate across 6 countries. Your mother was a genius, Mr. Carter. She built an empire. Then why did she leave? The question burst out. Before he could stop it, why did she let me think she was dead? Why did I grow up in a trailer with a father who drank himself to death? Margaret's face softened just slightly. She left you a letter. Perhaps that will explain. The envelope was thick, cream-colored, expensive. His mother's handwriting. He recognized it from old birthday cards he'd kept hidden for decades. My darling Alex, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and I'm so sorry. I didn't abandon you. I was forced out, destroyed, bankrupted by a man who stole everything I built. 25 years ago, I created something revolutionary, software that would change how we process data. I had a partner, Victor Kane. Alex's blood went cold. He was young then, hungry. I trusted him. I let him handle the business side while I perfected the technology. Then, 2 weeks before our patent filing, he locked me out, claimed I'd stolen from him, fabricated documents, bought witnesses. The courts believe him because he had money for better lawyers. I lost everything. My company, my reputation, my savings. I had to choose. Fight a battle I couldn't win and watch you starve, or disappear and rebuild in secret. Keep you safe from the man who'd already proven he'd destroy anyone. I chose you. I left so he wouldn't use you against me. I worked in silence under a different name, and I built it all back. Bigger, better. But I never stopped watching over you. Every scholarship you got, I made sure of it. Every job interview, I had friends recommend you. I saw you graduate. I saw you fall in love. And I watched him again. Victor Kane. He's grown powerful now. Respected. But his empire? It's built on my stolen work. This money is yours, Alex. But more than that, it's justice. Make him pay. Not just for me. For everyone he stepped on. Everyone he's mocked. Everyone who wasn't born rich enough to matter. Reclaim what he took. Show them what underestimating someone costs. I'm sorry I couldn't do it myself. I'm sorry I left you. But you're stronger than I ever was. Destroy him. Love, always, Mom. Alex sat in that office for an hour, reading the letter 7 times. Then he called the investigator Margaret recommended. 2 days later, Alex still went to work. Still drove his beat-up Toyota. Still ate lunch at his desk, turkey sandwich, apple, chips. Like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. The investigator's first report came that afternoon. Photos, timestamps, hotel receipts. Emma and Victor had been together for 7 months. Not 3. 7. They'd stayed at the Ritz, the Peninsula, the Four Seasons. Always the best rooms. Always champagne. While Alex worked overtime to pay their rent. There were texts too. The investigator had somehow gotten into Emma's cloud backup. He made meatloaf tonight. Meatloaf, like we're living in the 1950s. God, Victor, I can't wait to be free of this. You promised me a real life. He still thinks I love him. It's almost sad. Almost sad. Alex saved every single message. That night, Emma came home at 11. Hey, babe. She kissed his cheek, smelling like expensive cologne that wasn't his. How was your day? Fine, Alex said. How was work? Exhausting. Victor's pushing us so hard on this new project. She said his name so easily, like it meant nothing. You should rest, Alex said softly. Emma smiled. You're sweet. This is why I married you. She wanted to take a shower. Alex sat on their couch, the one they bought from a thrift store, the one with the broken spring in the middle, and he made a list. He was good at lists, good at planning. It's what engineers do. Step 1, gather evidence. Already done. Step 2, secure the money. He'd meet with the financial team tomorrow. Step 3, buy shares. Victor's company was publicly traded. Alex could start acquiring quietly. Step 4, wait. Watch. Learn their patterns. Step 5, destroy them both. He looked at the list for a long time. Then he added step 6. Make sure the whole world watches. Over the next 3 months, Alex became invisible. Not literally, but he shrank himself, made himself smaller, quieter, more pathetic. He'd learned something important from his mother's letter. Rich people don't see poor people. They look through them, around them, never at them. So he gave them what they expected. When Emma asked for a divorce lawyer's number just to see our options, he acted hurt but understanding. When Victor visited their apartment again, bringing Emma flowers, smirking at Alex's worn-out sneakers, Alex just smiled weakly and offered him coffee. No thanks. Victor had said, looking around like the place might be contagious. Emma ready? Dinner reservations at 8. Dinner? Alex asked. Team building. Emma said quickly, I told you. She hadn't. Oh, right. Have fun. Victor's eyes lingered on Alex for just a moment. That look. That you poor, stupid bastard look. Alex held it, smiled. waved as they left. Then he called his investigator. "I need more," Alex said. "Everything. His business deals. His past. His secrets. Everything that made Victor Kane rich. That'll take time. I have money now. Make it fast." 3 weeks later, the investigator sent a file that changed everything. Inside were court documents from 26 years ago. A lawsuit. Sarah Mitchell versus Victor Kane Enterprises. Alex read every page. His mother had been telling the truth. Victor had stolen her patents, forged her signature on transfer documents, paid off 3 witnesses to testify she'd been stealing from him, not the other way around. But there was more. A deposition from someone named Richard Cross, Victor's former lawyer. He died 5 years ago, but before he did, he'd given a recorded statement to a journalist working on a white-collar crime piece that never published. The audio was attached to the file. Richard's voice was old, shaky, but clear. "Victor Kane is a thief. I helped him do it. Sarah Mitchell created something brilliant, and he took it because he knew she couldn't fight back. Single mother, no family money, no connections. We buried her, and he built an empire on top of her grave." Alex listened to it 12 times. Then he started planning the party. The yacht was called the Fortune. Victor had been bragging about it for months. Custom built, 150 feet long, worth $42 million. He'd planned a massive launch party for his 50th birthday, the biggest event of the year. Everyone who mattered would be there. Alex bought it, not through his own name, through a shell company, 3 layers deep. The sale went through before Victor even knew what happened. The look on Victor's face when his assistant told him someone had outbid him? Alex watched it happen through the investigator's hidden camera. Victor had thrown a glass across his office. "Who?" Victor had screamed. "Who has that kind of money?" Nobody knew, but they'd find out soon enough. Alex kept the party date, sent invitations to everyone Victor had planned to invite, added a few more names. Business reporters, social media personalities, people who loved a good story. The invitation was beautiful. Thick cardstock, gold trim. It read, "You are cordially invited to the launch of Phoenix Rising, an evening of celebration, revelation, and rebirth, hosted by the new owner." Nobody knew who the new owner was. That was the point. Emma filed for divorce 6 weeks before the party. She sat Alex down at their kitchen table, the same table where they'd eaten breakfast together for 8 years, and she cried. "I don't love you anymore," she said through fake tears. "I'm so sorry. I need more." "More what?" Alex asked, playing his part. "More life. More excitement. I feel trapped. Is there someone else?" Emma looked away. "That's not fair. It's a simple question, Em." "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, there is. Victor and we connected. I didn't mean for it to happen. How long? Does it matter? Yes. A few months. 7. It had been 7 months. But Alex didn't correct her. "I want half," Emma said, her voice harder now. "Of everything we have. The apartment, your savings, your retirement account. It's only fair." Alex looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman had slept beside him for 8 years, had cried when his father died, had promised him forever. And now she sat here, demanding half of the pathetic life while wearing a necklace Victor had bought her. "Okay," Alex said quietly. Emma blinked. "Okay. Yeah, you can have it. All of it. All of it. The apartment's in your name anyway. My savings are, well, you know how much is there? $23,000. My retirement's got maybe $40,000. Take it. I don't care anymore." Emma actually looked disappointed. She wanted a fight, wanted him to beg. Instead, he'd rolled over. "Given up. I'll have my lawyer send the papers," she said, standing. "You're being really mature about this, Alex." "Thank you." She left that night, moved into Victor's penthouse downtown. Alex sat alone in the empty apartment and smiled, because what Emma didn't know, what she'd never even thought to check, was that Alex had opened new accounts, had moved his inheritance money through a dozen different banks, all under his mother's company structures. His old accounts, The ones Emma would get half of? Exactly $63,000. She could have it. Every penny. It was the cheapest revenge he'd ever bought. Alex had the money. $3.7 billion his mother left him. The mother who was destroyed by Victor Kane. Victor Kane, the same man now sleeping with Alex's wife. Emma had filed for divorce, taking what she thought was half of everything. $63,000. She had no idea about the billions. And now, Alex owned Victor's dream yacht, renamed it Phoenix Rising, invited everyone to a party that would change everything. But here's what makes this story different. What Alex was about to discover would make his revenge so much sweeter and so much more brutal than he ever imagined. The investigator's name was Daniel Torres. He was ex-FBI, 52 years old, and he didn't smile much. But when he walked into the coffee shop 3 weeks before the party, he was grinning. "You're going to love this," Daniel said, sliding a tablet across the table. Alex looked at the screen. It was an email from Emma to someone named James Whitmore. "Victor's getting boring. All he talks about is business and his stupid boat. You, though, I've been reading about your venture capital firm. $8 billion under management? Now that's interesting." Alex scrolled down. "I know we only met once at that conference, but I felt something. Didn't you? Maybe we could get coffee when I'm finally free of my situation." The date stamp, 2 weeks ago. "She's already hunting her next target," Daniel said. "James Whitmore, 47, divorced, worth about $12 billion. He's coming to your party, by the way. Accepted the invitation yesterday." Alex sat back. Emma wasn't just a cheater. She was a climber, a calculator, someone who saw people as ladder rungs. Victor was just another step. "Get me everything," Alex said. "Every message, every flirtation. I want to know how many times she's done this." Daniel's grin widened. "Already ahead of you." Emma Chun had married Alex when she was 24. Back then, she'd been different. Or maybe she'd just been a better actress. They'd met in college. She was studying marketing. He was in engineering. They'd bonded over late-night study sessions and dreams of making it together. But somewhere along the way, Emma's dreams had gotten expensive. She'd started following influencers who posted pictures of private jets and designer bags. Started making comments like, "Wouldn't it be nice to just not worry about money?" Alex had worked harder, taken extra shifts, tried to give her more. It was never enough. Daniel's full report came 3 days later. Emma had dated 4 men before Alex, all of them progressively wealthier. A car salesman, a dentist, a small business owner, a lawyer. Then she'd married Alex, the poorest of them all. Why? Because he'd been safe, devoted, someone who'd worship her while she figured out her next move. And she had. 3 years into their marriage, Emma had gotten her job at Victor's company. Within 6 months, she'd started attending after-work events. Within a year, she'd gotten herself assigned a project that required FaceTime with the boss. Victor hadn't stood a chance. But the messages to James Whitmore weren't her first attempt at branching out. There were others, dozens of them. A CEO she'd met at a conference, a hedge fund manager she'd sat next to on a flight, an investor who'd visited Victor's office. Emma collected rich men, like baseball cards, and now she was ready to trade up again. "Does Victor know?" Alex asked. "Doubt it," Daniel said. "Men like Victor never think they're the temporary option. They think they're the prize." Alex smiled. This was better than he'd hoped. The party was set for Saturday night. Alex spent the week before making final preparations. The yacht was perfect. Crew hired. Catering arranged. Champagne. The expensive kind. The kind Victor always ordered, stocked by the case. But the real work was technical. Alex had spent years as an engineer. He knew systems. Knew how to build things that worked flawlessly. So he built something special for this party. A presentation. It would play on massive screens positioned around the yacht's main deck. High definition. Surround sound. Impossible to ignore. He'd worked on it every night for 2 weeks, alone in a hotel room he'd rented under a fake name. The first section, Victor's theft, court documents, audio recordings, Richard Cross's deposition, his mother's patents side by side with Victor's original work, time-stamped evidence that proved Victor had stolen everything. The second section, Emma's messages, not just to James Whitmore, to everyone, years of calculated flirtation and cold-blooded planning, screenshots, voice messages, videos, the third section, the finale. But Alex was keeping that secret, even from himself. He'd know what to say when the moment came. On Friday night, Alex visited his mother's grave. She was buried in a small cemetery outside Chicago. Simple headstone. Nobody visited except him. He'd bought flowers. White roses. Her favorite. "I'm doing it, Mom," he said quietly, kneeling in the grass. "Tomorrow night, everyone's going to know what he did to you, what he took from us." The wind rustled through the trees. "I wish you could be there," Alex continued. "I wish I'd known you were alive. I wish a lot of things." He stayed there for an hour, just sitting, thinking about the woman who'd given up everything to keep him safe, the woman who'd worked in shadows to build an empire, the woman who'd never gotten her revenge. "This is for you," Alex whispered. "All of it." Saturday arrived. The yacht was docked at Chicago's most exclusive marina. Evening sun painted the water gold and orange. The Phoenix rising gleamed white and chrome, strung with lights that would sparkle when darkness fell. Guests started arriving at 7. Alex watched from a private room below deck, monitoring security cameras. They came in limos and sports cars, wore tuxedos and gowns that cost more than most people's monthly rent, laughed and air-kissed, and pretended they all liked each other. At 7:30, Victor arrived. He stepped out of his Mercedes like he owned the world. Custom suit, slick back hair, that same cruel smile. Behind him, Emma. She looked stunning. Red dress, slit up the thigh, diamonds at her throat and wrists. She hung on Victor's arm like a trophy, but her eyes were scanning the crowd, looking for James Whitmore. Alex watched her find him, watched her face light up, watched her whisper something to Victor, probably, "I need to network," and drift away. Within 5 minutes, Emma was laughing at something James said, touching his arm, tilting her head in that way she used to do with Alex. Victor didn't even notice. He was too busy bragging to a group of investors about his vision and his success. Alex checked his watch. 8 o'clock. Time to get dressed. He'd hired a costume designer. Not for anything fancy. Just the opposite. Alex wanted to look like staff. Invisible. Someone you'd hand your empty champagne glass to without making eye contact. So he put on the simple black uniform, slicked his hair back, grabbed a tray of drinks, and headed up to the main deck. Nobody recognized him. Why would they? These people never looked at the help. Alex moved through the crowd, listening. "I heard the new owner is some European billionaire." No. I heard it's a tech CEO from Silicon Valley. Whoever is his balls, buying Victor's yacht out from under him. Victor stood near the bow, holding court. His voice carried across the deck. "Honestly, I'm glad someone else took it." Victor lied smoothly. "I realized I wanted something bigger anyway. Custom design. You know how it is." Everyone nodded. Nobody believed him. Alex drifted closer. Emma was still with James Whitmore. They'd moved to a quieter corner. Her hand was on his chest now. She was leaning in, lips close to his ear. Alex stopped nearby, pretending to arrange glasses on his tray. "You're even more impressive in person," Emma was saying. "Victor's told me so much about you. I'd love to hear more about your portfolio strategy sometime. Maybe over dinner?" James smiled. He was older, distinguished, smart enough to know what Emma was doing, but arrogant enough not to care. "I think that could be arranged," James said. "Though I should mention, I have a rule about mixing business and pleasure." Emma's smile widened. "What if I promise to make it worth breaking your rule?" Alex moved away before he did something stupid. Not yet. At 8:30, the yacht's engines rumbled to life. A crew member announced through speakers, "Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be cruising the lake this evening. Please enjoy the open bar and prepare for a special announcement from our host. The yacht pulled away from the dock. Nobody noticed they were leaving shore until the city lights were already distant. Alex made his way to the upper deck, where the captain was waiting. "We're far enough out," the captain said. "Nobody's swimming to shore from here." "Perfect," Alex said. "Keep us here. And make sure nobody can access the smaller boats." The captain nodded. He'd been paid very well to follow instructions without questions. Alex shed his staff uniform. Underneath, a tailored tuxedo. Custom-made. Expensive. The kind that screamed money. He checked his reflection in a window. He didn't look like the Alex who'd eaten ramen and driven a broken Toyota. He looked like his mother's son. Like someone who belonged. Time to introduce himself. The lights dimmed. A single spotlight hit the main stage at the center of the deck. Confused murmurs rippled through the crowd. This wasn't normal party procedure. Alex walked into the spotlight. For 3 seconds, nobody reacted. Then someone gasped. "Is that? It can't be. Emma's husband?" Emma froze, champagne glass halfway to her lips. Her face drained of color. Victor turned confused. Then his expression shifted to something between shock and rage. Alex picked up the microphone. "Good evening," he said, his voice calm. "Steady. Thank you all for coming to the launch of Phoenix Rising. I'm your host." The silence was complete. Some of you know me as Alex Carter, Emma's soon-to-be ex-husband, the guy who fixes things. He smiled. "But tonight, I'd like to introduce myself properly." He gestured to the massive screens positioned around the deck. His face appeared on them. Below it, text, Alex Carter, CEO of Phoenix Holdings. Net worth, $3.7 billion. The crowd erupted. Gasps. Shouts. Someone dropped a glass. Emma's mouth opened. No sound came out. Victor looked like he'd been punched. "I know this is surprising," Alex continued. "See, 3 months ago, I inherited my mother's estate. Sarah Mitchell. Some of you older guests might remember her. Brilliant software engineer. Created the data processing systems that changed the tech industry." He paused. "Before they were stolen from her." Victor went rigid. "My mother trusted the wrong person. Her business partner. Young. Ambitious. Hungry for success he hadn't earned." Alex looked directly at Victor. Victor Kane. The screens changed. Court documents appeared. Patent filings. Side-by-side comparisons showing Sarah's original work and Victor's independent creation. 26 years ago, Victor Kane stole my mother's life's work. Forged documents. Bought witnesses. Destroyed her reputation and her company. Then built his empire on top of her grave. Alex's voice hardened. "My mother left me everything so I could do what she couldn't. Reclaim what was stolen. Make sure the truth came out." The screen shifted again. Richard Cross's face appeared. The audio played. His shaky voice admitting everything. "Victor Kane is a thief. I helped him do it. We buried her. And he built an empire on top of her grave." The crowd turned to look at Victor. He was shaking. This is slander. That testimony was ruled inadmissible. This is a hit job." "It's the truth," Alex said simply. "And it gets better." He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen. "As of 6 hours ago, I became the majority shareholder of Kane Technologies. 51%. Which means, Victor, you're fired." Victor staggered. "Your board, several members are here tonight, has already voted. You're out, effective immediately. Criminal charges for corporate fraud are being filed Monday morning." Victor's face turned purple. "You little—" "I'm not done," Alex said. He turned to Emma. She'd been trying to back away, to disappear into the crowd, but people had surrounded her. Phones out, recording everything. "Emma," Alex said softly, "my wife, the woman who stood beside me for 8 years, the woman who said for richer or poorer." Emma's eyes filled with tears, the calculated kind, the performance kind. "Alex, please." 7 months, Alex said. "That's how long you've been sleeping with Victor. Not the few months you admitted to. 7. The screens changed again. Text messages appeared. Emma's words. He made meatloaf tonight. Meatloaf, like we're living in the 1950s. God, Victor, I can't wait to be free of this. You promised me a real life. He still thinks I love him. It's almost sad. Gasps, murmurs. Someone laughed. Emma's face crumbled. That's private, you can't. But wait, Alex said. There's more. New messages appeared. Emma's conversations with James Whitmore. The crowd turned to look at James, who'd gone pale. Victor's getting boring. All he talks about is business and his stupid boat. You, though, I've been reading about your venture capital firm. $8 billion under management? Now that's interesting. Victor spun around, staring at Emma. What the hell is this? It's called ladder climbing, Alex said. Emma doesn't love Victor. She just loves whoever has the most money. And apparently, James, you're next on her list. James stepped away from Emma like she was radioactive. Emma tried to speak. It's not, you're twisting. Here's my favorite part, Alex interrupted. A video played. Emma, earlier tonight, before she'd spotted James, talking to another woman by the bar. The audio was crystal clear. Once I lock in a Whitmore guy, I'm done with Victor. Alex was just practice. Victor's a stepping stone. But James, he's the real prize. The entire deck went silent. Victor looked at Emma like he'd never seen her before. Emma looked at the ground. And Alex smiled. So let me get this straight, Alex said, playing the crowd now. Victor built his empire on my mother's stolen work. Emma built her love life on whoever had the biggest bank account. And both of them looked at me, poor, pathetic Alex, and thought I'd never matter. He spread his arms. Surprise? Thunder rumbled in the distance. A storm was rolling in across the lake. Dark clouds. Lightning flickering. Perfect timing. I want to leave, Emma said, her voice breaking. I want off this boat. We all want to leave, someone else muttered. Unfortunately, Alex said, we're a bit far from shore, and it seems like the weather's turning. We'll have to wait it out. The wind picked up. Rain started to fall. Guests huddled under covered areas. Some tried their phones. No signal this far out. Victor pushed through the crowd toward Alex. You think you've won? Victor hissed. You think destroying me makes you better? No, Alex said quietly. But it makes us even. You took everything from my mother. I took everything from you. Fair trade. I'll sue you into ground. With what money? I froze your accounts this afternoon. Turned your board against you. Every investor you see here tonight, they've already pulled out. Victor's hands shook. For a moment, Alex thought he might actually throw a punch. Instead, Victor laughed. Cold, bitter. You're just like me, Victor said. Ruthless, calculated. You think you're the hero? You're the villain. You'll end up just as alone as I am. Alex met his eyes. Maybe, Alex said, but at least I'll sleep at night, knowing I didn't steal my success. I earned it from my mother, the woman you destroyed. Victor opened his mouth, closed it, walked away. Emma tried one more time. She approached Alex, tears streaming down her face. Real ones this time. Alex, please. I made mistakes. I'm sorry. I was confused. You were calculated, Alex corrected. You knew exactly what you were doing. You just didn't think you'd ever face consequences. I loved you once. No, Alex said. You love what I could give you. Security, worship, a safe place while you plan your next move. He handed her an envelope. Divorce papers. Already filed. You get what we agreed on. $63,000. That's what you settled for when you thought I had nothing. Emma stared at the envelope. You're a billionaire, she whispered. I'm entitled to more. Check the prenup you signed. Check the adultery clause. Check the date stamps on every hotel visit. Every lie, every betrayal. Alex's voice went cold. You get nothing, Emma. Not from me. Not from Victor. Not from James. He looked past her at James Whitmore, who was pointedly looking anywhere else. I sent him your full history, by the way, Alex added. Every relationship, every upgrade, every calculated move. He knows exactly who you are now. Emma crumpled, actually fell to her knees on the deck, rain soaking her expensive dress, her perfect makeup running. What am I supposed to do? She sobbed. Alex looked down at her. For a moment, just one moment, he felt something like pity. Then he remembered 7 months of lies. 7 months of coming home to an empty apartment. 7 months of working late while she laughed at his poverty. You're smart, Alex said. Figure it out. The same way you figured out how to climb from me to Victor. Except this time, everyone knows what you are. He walked away. The storm raged for 2 hours. Guests stayed trapped on the yacht, huddled in the main cabin, whispering, recording, posting to social media. By midnight, the story was everywhere. Billionaire's revenge. Stolen inheritance exposes tech mogul's fraud. Wife's affair exposed at yacht party confrontation. Victor Kane, from tech god to thief. Alex stood alone at the bow, watching lightning split the sky. Daniel Torres appeared beside him. It's done, Daniel said. FBI is opening an investigation into Victor based on the evidence you provided. Emma's name is trending on Twitter. James Whitmore's team released a statement saying he barely knows her. Alex nodded. Feel good? Daniel asked. I don't know, Alex admitted. I thought I'd feel different. Satisfied. Complete. Revenge isn't like that, Daniel said. It's not a meal. It's a medicine. Bitter. Necessary. But it doesn't taste good going down. My mother wanted this, Alex said. She spent 20 years building the ammunition for me to destroy him. And you did. Victor's finished. Emma's exposed. Everyone who matters knows the truth. Alex looked back at the party, at the ruined people who thought they were untouchable. Why doesn't it feel like enough? Daniel shrugged. Maybe because revenge never is. It levels the scales, but it doesn't heal the wound. They stood in silence for a while. Then Daniel handed Alex a folder. What's this? Your mother's other projects. Businesses she built. Charities she funded. All under different names. Daniel smiled. She wasn't just building money, Alex. She was building legacy. Helping people. Single mothers. Scholarship funds. Small business grants. Alex opened the folder. Page after page of donations. Programs. Lives changed. She did all this? Alex whispered, while hiding from Victor, while protecting you, while planning her revenge. Daniel nodded. Your mother wasn't just angry. She was hopeful. She believed the world could be better if people who'd been knocked down got a second chance. Alex felt something crack open in his chest. Not satisfaction. Something else. Purpose. The storm cleared at 2 in the morning. The yacht limped back to dock. Guests scattered quickly, eager to distance themselves from the scandal. Victor left without a word, his lawyer already on the phone. Emma tried to speak to Alex one last time. Where will I go? She asked, looking lost. There's a women's shelter on 5th Street, Alex said. They help people start over, teach job skills, provide counseling. My mother funded it. Emma stared at him. You're serious. I'm not cruel, Emma. I just don't love you anymore. Alex met her eyes. You wanted to climb. Now you have to learn to walk. He handed her a card, the shelter's information. Emma took it with shaking hands and walked away. 1 week later, Alex stood in the boardroom of Kane Technologies. It was his company now. The employees were terrified, waiting to see if the new boss would clean house. Alex looked around at the worried faces. My mother built the foundation of this company, he said. Victor Kane stole it. I've taken it back. But I'm not here to destroy what you've built. I'm here to make it right. He outlined his plan. Fair wages, ethical practices, innovation without exploitation. This company will honor my mother's vision, Alex said. We create. We don't steal. We build people up. We don't knock them down. The room was silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then everyone. 6 months later, Alex stood in a brand new building. Glass and steel. Beautiful. The sign out front read, Sarah Mitchell Center for Women in Technology. Inside, classrooms, computer labs, mentorship programs. Everything needed to help women build careers in tech, especially single mothers, especially women who'd been knocked down and needed a hand up. Alex had funded it entirely, named it after his mother. He wished she could see it. She can, a voice said. Alex turned. An older woman stood behind him, gray hair, kind eyes. She wore a simple dress and carried a worn purse. I'm sorry, Alex said. Your mother, she can see this. I know she can. The woman smiled. I worked with Sarah years ago, before Victor destroyed her. She talked about you constantly. How proud she was. How much she loved you. Alex's throat tightened. She never stopped loving you, the woman continued. She just loved you enough to let you go, to keep you safe. I wish I'd known her, Alex whispered. You do know her. You're just like her. The woman touched his arm gently. She'd be so proud of what you've done. Not the revenge. This, the building, the hope. The woman walked away before Alex could ask her name. That night, Alex visited his mother's grave again. He'd bought a better headstone, marble, engraved with her real achievements, her patents, her companies, her legacy. I did it, Mom, he said. Victor's gone. Emma's gone. Everyone knows the truth. The wind rustled the flowers he'd brought. But I think you'd be more proud of the other stuff. The center, the programs, the people we're helping. Alex smiled. I'm not just your son anymore. I'm your partner, continuing what you started. He sat there for a long time, feeling at peace for the first time since the lawyer's office. Revenge had been necessary. But this was meaningful. Victor Kane declared bankruptcy 3 months later. His empire dissolved. Criminal charges were pending. He'd moved into a modest apartment in the suburbs. Ironic, considering where he'd started. Emma worked at a coffee shop. She'd stopped trying to climb. Started therapy. Started, maybe, learning to be a person instead of a strategy. James Whitmore sent Alex a thank you card for the warning. Alex kept the yacht, renamed it after his mother, Sarah's dream. He used it for charity events, fundraisers, programs that gave people second chances. And late at night, when he stood alone on the deck, looking at the city lights, he didn't feel empty anymore. He felt like he was finally where he was supposed to be, not as a poor man, not as a billionaire, but as his mother's son, carrying forward the legacy she'd built in secret, proving that getting knocked down doesn't mean staying down, and that sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies. It's becoming someone they could never be. Someone kind, someone who lifts others up, someone who turns pain into purpose. So what did you think? Did Alex do the right thing? Was the revenge justified? Or should he have just walked away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear every opinion. And if this story hit you in the chest, if you felt Alex's pain, his rage, his final piece, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear that being underestimated doesn't mean being powerless. Subscribe for more stories like this. Stories about people who refuse to stay down, who turn their worst moments into their greatest comebacks. Because at the end of the day, we're all phoenixes. We all have the power to rise from the ashes. We just have to choose to spread our wings. Thanks for watching. See you in the next story. Keep rising. And